when Dan held his presser, he kind of gave an update on the team and how great it was to win on Monday. And then, after talking for a minute or two, right before he went to the reporters, he just threw in this last little announcement.
And the last thing I'd hit you on will be regarding Jaden, and we're going to sit him for the final 3 games. And I know your first question likely is, well, DQ, what went into that? And the answer is it was a lot, and part medical and part team. As of today, he still wasn't all the way cleared to play, so like last week, wouldn't have all the results until the end of the week, and then a short week next week with the Christmas game. So we believe this decision allows him to take advantage of the next few weeks in a different play. He wants to practice, and he will practice. He also wants to support Marcus in a way that Marcus has demonstrated and helped him. And so, I thought that was significant. We all know the best way to grow is during the games, but with that, not being the best way for us, there's plenty of ways for him to learn, over the next 3 weeks. And, he's going to learn from this vantage point too. So I just wanted to give you all the info that I had.
I think he says Jaden wanted to practice, which I believe 100%, because that rules out putting him on the IR, right? If he puts him on the IR, I'm not sure if he's allowed to practice. So he'll be just, I guess, a healthy scratch. I think he's healthy. He's got a sore elbow. The one thing I will say, they're doing as much as they can to ensure a healthy Jaden to start 2026, to start afresh. They are benching him over the last 5 games. They're shutting him down for a sore left elbow. Don't get it twisted. He is not injured. He's got a sore elbow, no structural damage. They decided to just shut him down, though, because everything was just going bad. Maybe you can make that argument, but he's not injured. He's got a sore elbow. That's all I'll say.
And I think he's minimizing the amount of games he's missing. He's like saying the last 3 games, and technically, yes, you're right. There are only 3 games left. They shut him down for 4 games.
Well, really, 5.
Basically a quarter of the season.
Really 5, because he should have come back.
Right.
He said he could have come back.
They shut him down for a quarter of the season. If you're going to go with that math, I mean, that's a lot of time, especially for a guy that missed a lot of games this year. He stepped onto the field for 7 games. And there are a lot of reasons why this season went south, but the simplest answer, if you just go Occam's razor, is your starting quarterback, your star quarterback, played in 7 games. So if we got to redo our season predictions, knowing that Jaden Daniels was only going to play in 7 games and finish 3 of them, none of us would have had them as a playoff team.
No,
kidding me?
If you told me Jaden was going to finish 3 games, I would have predicted 3 wins. And that's about where they are. They got 4. If you had told me Jaden was going to finish 3 games, and that says nothing about sort of the rest of the team, but the defense has been so bad largely for the year. Defense coordinator got fired. And then all the injuries.
The truth is, I would do it for almost all these teams. If you told me Bo Nix wasn't going to be available for the Denver Broncos for 7 games, if you told me Drake May wasn't going to be available except for 7 games, if you told me Josh Allen was only going to be available in 7 games, I wouldn't have any of those teams in the playoffs.
And only finish 3.
Right.
That's the most damning
I wouldn't have any of those teams in the playoffs if you're relying on your backup quarterback. And I actually hold Marcus Mariota in higher regard than you, which is not hard because you hold him in low regard. I just put this up as our
always makes mistakes.
Poll of the day.
Big mistakes.
Brought to you by Surfside. Use the code JUNKS at store.statesidevodka.com and get 25% off select merchandise, tees, hats, hoodies, and more. Use the code JUNKS at store.statesidevodka.com. Simple question. Do you think it's the right decision to shut him down?
I mean, maybe if I was invested in him and I used my number 2 pick, it's like sort of like I'm involved. This is my job. I got the franchise on the line on my shoulders. Maybe I would shut him down too, so I could get just a do-over next year. But from afar, as just a fan, I don't like it. But my career's not riding on it.
1-800-636-1067. We can take some calls. Do you think it is the right decision to shut him down? And I think the more fascinating thing is how this went down. Now, we played the clip earlier where he's trying to paint the impression that it was collaborative. But who ordered? I told Valdez, do you have the clip? It reminds me of A Few Good Men. Who ordered the code red?
Mm-hmm.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red?
And I wonder if we can get to the bottom of it, because do we think, originally I was an Adam Peters guy. And then as we talked about it, I started thinking, we started discussing it.
The NBA
the basketball
influence.
angles. And did Josh Harris just sign off on this? Or was Josh Harris pro? Like, I think Dan Quinn's con, right? Dan Quinn has said he thinks the reps are valuable in the games. He's if he says that in one, if he says in one instance it's valuable to have game day reps, and if he's healthy, we're going to play him, and then he shuts him down. To me, that's not Dan Quinn making the decision.
He looks like a hostage when he's there at the press conference because he's under duress.
It's above his head.
He's kind of stumbling and bumbling with the words a little bit.
So who do you think ordered the code red?
I don't know. I think it's a combo of Josh and Adam. And
Who's
Bob
the
Myers.
leader?
I don't know, but I just think that Josh was very open to it. Like I don't think Josh has a problem with it at all. That's just my sense from afar because he's looking at it. Look, I got to sell tickets. I gotta have an exciting team to. And they just saw what happened to Mahomes and Micah, and that shouldn't influence you because injuries happen all the time. But the fact of the matter is, he's their most marketable player. They're going to build a new stadium. They're trying to have their faith restored. They can't go into next year potentially with Marcus Mariota as a starter.
I feel like Josh is a big picture guy, and he's shown that in the NBA with trust the process. And so the way that I see it,
well, that's a big
could
picture
be wrong, is AP walks into his office and he says, "Man, we just can't keep this guy healthy, right?"
Right.
You can blame the player, you can blame the coaching, you can blame the whatever you can want to blame it on. But he's probably like, hey, season's gone south, but we just can't keep this guy healthy. We got to keep him healthy. He's our number one guy. We got to keep him healthy. And then Josh, in my mind, he's just behind the desk and just signs off on it. I don't think he's driving the bus on the shutdown. I think he's more. I think he's a delegator, which is a huge step. Because before we had a meddler. I don't think he's a meddler. I think he's but I think he's a guy who delegates to his guys, and then his guys give a recommendation, he signs off on it.
I agree with that, but I do think that they kind of run it by him. They run it up the flagpole a little bit, and they kind of they try to catch his vibe.
Right.
Like insinuating the last couple of weeks, hey, man, we may just shut him down just so you know.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, got it. You know what I mean? Like they're feelers.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you,
out.
but I don't think Dan is the one who's there. Dan's coaching.
Yeah.
And I think that
he wants to win.
He established that when he became the head coach, and he established that when they were talking about drafting different quarterbacks. He said, "No, I'm the coach, and Adam's the guy running the show with the personnel."
Right.
And I think this, to me, it's an Adam decision. He might have Newmark in there and all these other people, and we've seen these things on Hard Knocks. I was like 8 guys in a room.
Justin Herbert had surgery on his hand on Monday, played on Sunday. Aaron Rodgers is playing with 3 fractures in his hand. Daniel Jones was playing with a banged-up leg. It may have contributed to the Achilles, but he was playing with something wrong with his leg.
Phillip Rivers was playing with fat.
Phillip Rivers hadn't played in 5 years. They just threw him to the wolves. Yeah, he was obese.
Right.
But Jaden's off-throwing elbow hurts. And by the way, I don't blame Jaden at all. Like 0. Other than I wish when he fell down, he would have popped up quicker. He created the whole thing by staying down there for the extra 2 seconds.
If we play the clip again, Quinn's wishy-washy. The doctors didn't shut him down. He says the doctors are part of the equation.
Yeah. Like
sometimes doctors shut it down. They say, hey, you cannot play this guy. And then Quinn would say, the doctors have told us he cannot play. Yeah. In this case, he's very nebulous because that's what happens when you have to create a narrative, right? You just start throwing stuff out there.
By the way, I wouldn't care if there was structural damage in his left elbow. It's his left elbow. It's meaningless. All he needs to be able to do with that is handoff. Help with the handoff. And he could probably figure out a way without it.
I think you're overstating it's meaningless because
the stiff
arms and certain things.
Whatever. He can still stiff arm.
He can
still
how
stiff
you
arm.
run.
Maybe not very effectively, but he can still throw it out there.
But you certainly can play with it. He's going to practice.
Of course.
So he's fine to practice. They just don't want him on the field because they're scared that he could get hurt again.
Let me just say this. I wanted him. I was adamant from the jump that I wanted him to play. And he needs to play. He needs to remind everyone. He needs to remind himself. He needs to remind the team, the front office, the fans, that he can stay healthy like he did last year, like he did for 55 or 57 games in college. But I will acknowledge there is a little bit of relief in the back of my mind knowing that at least we're going to start next year with our superstar under center, barring something crazy in the offseason.
Right. All right, let's go to the phones. 1-800-636-1067. You can also vote at Junks Radio or text us on the Main Street Bank text line. Do you think this is the right decision?
All right, let's go to Ryan in Ohio. Ryan, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junkies.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
How are you, man?
Good, doing well.
Good.
I agree with the whole Jaden Daniels thing. We should have done the same thing with Burrow.
Go ahead. Give me
No,
your
it's just-
rationale. Why?
Right? Why not? You're not winning anything. You're playing for no prize.
But Burrow is
Protect
much
him.
more experienced. He's been in the league a long time. And by the way, they're going to play Burrow because, according to Zach Taylor, they want to
I'm
win.
saying I agree with sitting Jaden. I wish they would do that with Burrow. Go get a draft pick. Better yourself.
So
in the
you're a
draft.
Bengals fan.
Huge.
Gotcha. All right, appreciate the call. His
Thanks,
perspective
buddy.
is shut Joe Burrow down, too.
All right, let's go to Liam in Gaithersburg.
Hey,
Liam, what's
Jones,
up?
Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning. What's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
So I'm okay with the decision, but if you're going to bench him, you got to bench all your starters that are going to be here next year, like Terry and so forth and so on.
That's a fair
Well,
perspective.
the only listen, I hear you. I know exactly what you're saying because if Terry's out, we already see how devastating that is. If Larry Tunsil's out, we know how devastating. The only difference is we all acknowledge that quarterbacks are different than the others. They still are, at the end of the day, more important.
Now, how about this? I was thinking about it. How about if this decision, I know JD's mom likes to protect him from the females. You think she's also trying to protect some of that
No, my understanding is-
Campbell soup money?
No, my understanding is that
No?
Jaden's mom wants him to play.
So his perspective is you think that Jaden's mom could have ordered the code
No,
red.
I'm telling you that's not
Yeah.
true. From someone that covers the team, Jaden's mom and Jaden both want to play.
Okay, that's interesting. Maybe that's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Who's
maybe that's
reported
keep the
that?
locker room going,
I've been
maybe.
told that behind the scenes. Hasn't
Okay.
been reported.
All right.
Huh?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
good.
Thanks, pal. I hadn't really thought about the
someone
Jaden's
could do an
mom.
official report and it proves otherwise, but I was told specifically that behind the scenes.
I hadn't been told the Jaden's mom perspective, but it reminds me that about a year and a half ago, and you asked me to ask my friend who's a personnel guy in the NFL, his perspective on the prospects coming out. And he loved Jaden.
Didn't like
And
the
he
mom.
loved Drake May. But the difference maker between those two, and he didn't love Caleb, was the mom.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily a negative thing. It's just that she's over
She's
involved.
gone public. She doesn't like the RG3 comparisons. She's publicly said that. She loves being on the sideline. She loves being a part of the whole deal. It makes sense to me that the mom wants him to play. Makes sense to me.
But she also wants to protect him. I mean, I could see that argument. But
okay.
I have no reason to disbelieve you or your
Ask-
source.
Ask her on the record.
Right.
Ask her on the record. Let's go to Brandon. Brandon, what's up? Brandon, real quick.
Hey, what's
20
what's
seconds.
up, guys? Hey, I called in yesterday. I was the guy who said not to play him. And I'm glad to see my intuition is sticking with the pros on this one up in the front office. I think this is the right move. We earned nothing out of playing him other than him getting some additional reps. I get it, that's huge, but he's not even doing it with our main guys, in the wide receiver front. So this is a big win. Now we get to go into next season knowing that we have Jaden 100%.
Hey, I'm curious.
Make
I'm,
that
I'm- I'm
decision.
just curious. What if he suffers the exact same injury in week 1, and then he sits out the exact amount of times, and then plays a half and gets hurt again? What do you do?
That would be devastating, but the
No, but
same
what
thing,
would you
if
do?
he
Would
does-
you then sit him out the next 3
If
games?
he has a sore elbow?
If he can come back into a game and it's week 4, let's say, so he gets hurt in week 1, he dislocates
it's
the
a s-
elbow, they put it back in, he misses weeks 2 and 3, and in week 4 he lands on his elbow and it's sore. What do you do?
Trying him back out.
Of course we do. I want to hear what he does.
No, I hung
oh,
up
you
on
hung
him.
up on him?
Yeah, because we're late.
Because I'm just
we're backed
wondering
up.
what these people are going to keep doing. Are they going to keep him in bubble wrap next year too?
No,
Anytime he gets hurt?
I think the bubble wrap stuff ends. This is it.
1-800-636-1067. We're the Junkies. Be right back.